Welcome back to Go Again Gaming and welcome back to the League That Means Nothing 3. We have all the heroes, we have 54 players. It means even less than the last time. I mean, sure, you win the first league, it might mean something, but really, we're getting to the point discovering really what nothing is and what it means to win a league that means nothing. I'm Ian, I will be your voice of the league this season, occasionally joined by a guest or two, but I will be carrying the bulk of this. We have an interesting game ahead of us today. Interesting is a strong word, but certainly a game. It is Matt Kenworthy, Matagon, to those on social media who may have heard of this man who has taken Teklo and actually tried to make it work. God, I couldn't imagine saddling yourself to that, getting that ball and chain rolling. But it's Teklovossen, esteemed magnet, versus Seb Paradise on Kayo, armed and dangerous. While I can't tell you an awful lot about Teklo, bar having played against it, I can talk about Kayo. I've taken Kayo to ProQuest win, taken him to 2 Pro Tours now. Got some living legend points on the big green guy. And really, if you're the KO player here, you're just looking to close this game out as quickly as possible because every turn that Teklo gets, he gets one step closer to completing his transformation into the Necropotent and becoming, it's like going through the singularity and becoming more than human. Well, that's the goal of Teklovossen and Teklo Industries. As for KO, you're going to rely on really good value, try and set up some big turns. You want your Blood Rush Bellows to be super powerful and very impactful. And if all goes to pot and your opponent is like pushing and pressuring and you somehow get them to 2 life, there's always Reckless Swing. Or personal favorite is if they make you discard with Teklo Necropotent's ability, Necropotent. Matt, please, I'll refer to your wisdom. Just discard Beast with it. Simple. It is as simple as that. With that being said, let's throw it over to the game and let's see just what we have going on.
Another awesome sponsor here on The League That Means Nothing for Season 3 is My Metal Cards, who make some fantastic metal card tokens to spice up your battlefield when playing Flesh and Blood. Go and check them out at mymetalcards.etsy.com or Twitter at my_metal_cards. And make sure you use the League That Means Nothing special discount by using Let's Play The League That Means Nothing. Let's Play TLTMN to get 5% off your order and receive one of these special new tokens exclusive to this league and this league only. Go and check them out when you can. That's My Metal Cards. Let's get on with the tournament.
Okay, so it looks to me like Matt has decided to go first from winning the die roll, and it looks like he is running the AB base, the adaptive dissolvers. I'm not entirely sure, but I imagine that is just a way of allowing him to have base equipment to stack on top of that may not get blown up. And hey, we have a good start here. A Call to the Grave. Entomb is a good card. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. I'm full of nonsense. But lets you go search out one of your Evo pieces and dump it, which means, a lot of good things. You can get it into Banish with Scrap pretty quickly and use it to pressure your opponent. So we'll see Matt there put the Evo Steel Soul memory headpiece into the graveyard, which I'm sure will follow up with a scrap card here. With 3 cards in hand, that means there could be an arsenal as well. Really great start. Just getting straight into this game plan of Teklovossen. Yeah, we're just going to activate Teklovossen, dump some cards out, use it as a way to filter, pop a card in arsenal, and pass. And now we're over to Seb for their first turn. pretty standard KO equipment: Savage Sash, Scabskin Leathers, Apex Bonebreaker, Mandible Claw, a young KO token, and a Scowling Flesh Bag. But we're going straight up, no fear, don't be a coward, don't fear the boots. We're going to make 2 action points to start the game. Just roll those boots. And this is a great pitching a Beast Within. I hope he has another Beast Within in hand, or either that or his hand is all reds. So let's see what gets discarded here. So we're discarding a Savage Beatdown. That's a big one. And we're going to send in 8, generating a Might token with Kayo's ability. So this is 8. We go to 1 action point and we have 2 cards in hand. I wonder if we even needed that second action point, or if we were just saying, yeah, we're not afraid. Who cares if we pass the turn? What are you going to do, Teklovossen? Dress yourself? And we're just going to have an unmovable plate from hand. So we're going to present a quick 7 block, take 1 point of damage, and now priority is with Seb to see if he wants to do anything with this spare action point. And yeah, we do. We just want to swing big, pitching a yellow Bear Fangs, or yeah, a yellow Bear Fangs. I have to imagine that was the draw off the top, because there's no way you would pitch your Beast Within to your Bear Fangs with 2 action points if you had it in hand to begin with. Very surprised to see anything happen there at all. I could have easily just seen a swing big start and just roll with it from there. It's not like Teklovossen is going to be playing 2 attacks a turn very soon. But Matt has that Scrap Trader in Arsenal, so he's going to scrap the Evo he blocked with, plus another one. The one from turn 1 that he called to the grave, generating 4 resources, allowing him to equip an Evo from the banished pile, and getting straight on his first piece of Evo equipment, and moving to Arsenal. And now, pretty standard slow turns from Teklo. We'll move over to Seb, who is going to throw out a yellow pulping. Seems to be a lot of yellows hitting at the minute, not a lot of blues. It's not what you love to see. And pulping is going to come in for at least 6. Depending on what gets discarded here, it may also have dominate. Looks like we're discarding the middle card, which is a natural windup, which is 6. So we are going to remake our Might token and come in with a 6 dominate. It's a pretty good start. And now Matt able to block with the chest piece and his 3 block temper headpiece. Funnily enough, if this was overpower and not dominate, we wouldn't be having that. And here's another Beast Within. In the pitch zone is not where you want to see them. You want to see those Beast Withins discarded. Now blocking with another chest piece. Seb choosing, probably wisely, to Arsenal and pass on. Now Matt with 2 cards in hand, card in Arsenal. Let's see what he decides to do. Which piece of equipment he decides to put on. Again, we're going to activate Teklovossen. We're going to Scrap Trader again. Banish. Generate the resources. And just equip another Evo. Gotta love it when everything lines up for you, because you don't always get to get these Scrap Traders early. If you see them late in the game, it's not really when you want to see them. Like being able to turbo out, he's getting dressed pretty quickly here. And here we have a Tear Limb from Limb. This is a tech include that I have often used in KO. It's one that I really like in the sideboard for matchups like this, where you will have the space to run it and just be like, yeah, I guess you can block 12. Here's 22. So Tear Limb from Limb, discarding a Wild Ride. Probably not the one you wanted to discard, but the next Brute attack gains power equal to its base. Now, we could very easily see a Mandible Claw here to go for 3, but no, it looks like we're just swinging big. With 2 floating, yeah, maybe Seb. This is a swing big for 17, but we are missing out on a nice 4 points of damage or 3 points of damage here, you know? And in these matchups, every little bit counts. So hopefully, if Matthew survives this game at 3 life, just remember, you heard it here first. From the voice of the league, the arbiter of what's going on, and the one who decides what's correct in these games. Just saying. Yeah, so nice big 17, deal some damage, draw up. Kayo still very comfortably at 40 here and is likely to stay that way for a little while as Matt continues to get dressed. And we have a scrap compactor here, so this allows him to play an Evo as an instant by scrapping a card. Throwing out a whole singular point of damage, but more importantly, scrapping an Evo and allowing Matt to, without having to activate Teklovossen, equip an Evo. Yeah, so now we have the Steel Soul Tower. We got our pants on. Just looking for a pair of gloves before we head out for the day. And Seb, very wisely, deciding to take that 1 point of damage. Rolling Scab Skins. Okay, getting 1 action point. I wonder, has anyone seen the treatise on how to roll Scab Skins? It's a really interesting and in-depth piece of writing, and it's a very interesting card in general. Woof, cast bones revealing cast bones, not what you want to see. And a reckless and a blood rush. That is not great. Not ideal. Not even a little bit good. This is why I don't run cast bones. I don't like variants in my deck full of variants. But look, here we go. We have 3 mites locked in for the next turn. And Seb is just going to pass with doing nothing. Thankfully, Teklovossen, not always a deck that will punish you for that, but we are just going to play our Evo from our banish. We are fully dressed. That was pretty quick by Teklovossen standards. You don't normally get so set up so quickly. And it's just going to ship it back to Seb, who I hope he has a plan, because Matt's ready for a night on the town, and we are starting with a pulping, pitching a cast bones, and a reckless swing that we drew. So we're pitching 2 of the whiffs, knowing that in the top 3 cards, including the card in hand, there could also be a Blood Rush spell. So we have an odd even situation here, and it's going to discard a Savage Feast. And this pulping is going to come in for 9 Dominate and generate a Might token. If only Matt had a mountain of armor to not have to worry about this. So we're going to firewall this and then block. So we're blocking 4, 7, 8, 9. So we're blocking exactly. And now we have to resolve our firewall, revealing the top card. It is not an Evo, so that Enlightened Strike is going to the bottom. I think if you're Seb here, you're very loath to run the risk on a draw discard, because we know that at least one of these cards is a Blood Rush spell. So we're going to send a Massacre. Nice. So this is an 8 and an Intimidate to go with it. So Matt is going to be somewhat constricted on what cards he can choose to block with. So we're intimidating 1, leaving Matt with 2 cards. But he still, at the end of the day, has 5 whole points of armor to block with. We're just going to unmovable it. Solve that problem entirely. And that unmovable came from Arsenal, I believe. So that is a full cover on a Massacre. But we do know now that there's a Blood Rush Bellow coming. So Matt has quite the task ahead of him to not get Blood Rushed out of this game. Because one of the things about Teklovossen is once you flip into Singularity, you can close the game out very quickly. But you do need your opponent to not have the life threshold to kind of play with. And Matt is just going to gain 3 with his Sigil of Solace going up to 31. And it looks to be an Arsenal pass now. Seb is in an interesting spot. Oh, never mind. He's actually just shotgunning this Blood Rush Bellow. I was about to say, if you don't have any draw discards, it might be better off pitching something attacking and just keeping that Blood Rush for next turn. But we're just running it out, discarding a Bear Fangs, getting a draw 2, and having 2 resources floating, which is best used probably on a Claw. Yep. And we're going to see a Claw for 6, plus 2 from the Blood Rush, plus 1 from the Might. Blood Rush Bellow, one of those crazy cards. One of the only ways left in Flesh and Blood to draw multiple cards in a turn and buff it. But we're going to cover up this Claw entirely with a 2-block on our Steel Soul Controller and a Fate Foreseen. Gotta love the juxtaposition of signed hero, signed weapon, Marvel equipment, and whiteboarded Fate Foreseen. So we have a Wild Ride coming in here, discarding a Send Packing. So this Wild Ride is coming in for an 8 go again. And let's see where we go from here. Just a casual 8, you know. And if that last card is... Oh, we're just going to full block it here with the cards in hand. And if that last card in hand is a Run Roughshod, we're making it, but we are not. Run Roughshod, such an underrated card. Just the ability to attack for 5 or 7 off a single resource is insane. Instead, it's just going to be an Arsenal pass here, and Matagon is going to just ship the turn. Oh, he kept a card. So we have an Arsenal setup, which I assume is either something like a Singularity or a defense reaction to just try and push through this whole game. Checking the graveyard, making sure he has scrap value, I assume. And here we have an... That's the 3rd Reckless. Seb, you are a madman. 2 Tear Limb from Limbs and 3 Reckless Swings. And Cast Bones? Bro, that's a lot of whiffs in that deck. But look, who am I to judge, you know? I have been called insane with the amount of stuff I've played in decks before, and hey, if it's working, it's working. But this is big number, go boom. Have we got another Swing Big to accompany this one? No, we have a Blood Rush Bellow. Holy F. F's in chat for Matagon. Like, this has to be an amount of damage. And we're just going to Massacre here. So this is a Massacre for 16, 17 Intimidate. Sure. Why not? This is a man who has rolled Scab Skins on these insane turns, but this feels like one of those turns where you would want to. I don't know. That's a lot of damage. That's a big number. 17 again. And we're going to see the block with the armor, block with the firewall, and I got to imagine there's a defense reaction coming in on top of this as well. That is a Terminator tank going to the bottom, or an Annihilation Engine, or a War Machine. Oh, who cares? There's too many, and they all look the same. And yeah, there's the Fate Foreseen. Going to opt, so we have a block of 10 or 11 here. And a Sigil. Gotta love it. This man is just disrespecting any amount of damage that Seb presents here. I'd be very curious to see what Seb has in his arsenal, because it's been there for a couple of turns. And who knows if it could have helped that Blood Rush turn go a little bit wider. And instead, Matt is just going to shoot the gun. Remember, it's a gun. Teklo leveler, not a pistol. Guns are not pistols. Pistols are not guns. But this is a 3 go again, because all modes are active, because all the evos are in play. And if you're Sep, you just ignore this, right? Or you block with the Savage Sash, because you want to crack that at some point. Yeah, it looks like it's just getting ignored here. I'm not surprised. No one cares about 3 go again. Now let's see what, if anything, Matt decides to do here. Just an arsenal and a pass. Now we have a full hand here from Seb. Let's see how much of it he can convert to damage. Right, we're just going through the graveyard there. I imagine we're just like confirming what power cards we've been through. And now let's see what's coming from this Blood Rush Bellow. We're going to discard a Pulping. I bet he would have liked to have that one. But we're going to start with Claw. Claw for 6. Pitching another Pulping. And just, yep, straight up, here's a 6 block. Now let's see what we follow up. It's a Wild Ride with a draw discard. This is starting to feel like it would have been an excellent Savage Sash turn. This is why we don't run gas balls. God, no one likes that happening. We're just going to Wild Ride for 8 here. Matt is just going to cover it. Cover up 6, take 2. He's really had a very effective game of absolutely blunting the crap out of these Blood Rush Bellows. They've looked very anemic. I think if you're Seb, you're now at a point where the math on your scab skins doesn't matter anymore, and you just go, yeah, roll, boots, scabs. But we're going to scrap trader, we're going to replace the headpiece, we're going to draw a card, that card's going to go into the arsenal, and we're just going to keep on moving. Now let's see what we get here from Seb. Still at a very healthy life total of 36, but unfortunately his opponent is also still at 26 and not dead and fully dressed. So this is a rough time. Now we are starting with a yellow Pulping. So this is going to be a 6 thanks to that Might token. Will it have Dominate is the big question. We have 3 to discard. And we're going to discard that middle card. It's a Wild Ride. So this is going to be a 6 Dominate. Now if Matt has a defense reaction arsenal, he can stuff this entirely. So it looks like we are just blocking 3, taking 3, going to 23. A lot of 3s. And we've got a Claw coming in now. Pitching. Taking the Claw. Blocking the Claw. And sending a Predatory Assault. Now that you've discarded a 6, it has Dominate. Not a card you see a lot of in KO. It has a lot of upside, but it doesn't really help you accelerate your game plan in the same way as Pulpings and Wild Rides, things like that. But in this situation, it looks like it was pretty helpful. Matt is going to go to 20 here. We have finally reached half the life total. Now let's see. Well, just gun. Pew, 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 pew. Here's some pew pews. It's 3, go again. And Seb is thinking about whether to block this. I can't imagine you're blocking this. This is a card that doesn't matter. This is damage that doesn't matter. Yeah, 33. Sound. Again, and a command and conquer for 6, just throwing out 6 damages. I think you can get your block value here off your chest piece, just because at any point in the next couple turns you could crack it and just send in damage. Huge fan of preemptively having gotten at least 2 points of value out of your Savage Sash before you're putting a turn to block with it. And we're just going to block 4. We're going to use our Scabs and we're going to use our Sash. So that might tell us that Seb has a game plan for that Savage Sash this turn. And we're going to tear limb from limb. It's pretty good. It's a big one. We got 1 floating. We have a draw discard. So let's see what gets discarded. So it's going to be the far right card. It is going to be a Send Packing. Let's see what Seb decides to do here. We're going to Savage Feast, discarding, drawing. So this Savage Feast is going to come in for 13. It's not bad. Savage Feast, a card I'm a big fan of in conjunction with Savage Sash, because it just becomes a freebie. It becomes a 0 cost. And it looks like Matt is going to Fabricate, which allows his Evos to block for more, and he can either... Yeah, and he's going to put it under to generate some extra resources in his soul for when the game gets to its inevitability. Like Thanos, Teklovossen is inevitable once he has activated that smarmy Benedict Cumberbatch looking fella. And we're going to block with all our Evos and a Fate Foreseen. So we're getting some serious blocking value out of that. Seb just going to Arsenal then, pass. Hopefully that card he drew off of Savage Feast is pretty good, because I've drawn some stinkers off of it. Notable local of mine, Conor McGrath, who, has had his dalliances with Brute, and with Kayo managed to exclusively draw Wrecker Romps off of that. And we're going to start with the gun for 3. Matt with at least 1, if not 2 cards in hand. And, we're blocking this one, so I probably can't convert the hand into a lot of damage here. And we're going to Warmongers. Interesting choice into KO, having seen a bunch of Blood Rushes played, and Seb just going to choose War. Absolutely. Like, what else are you going to choose when you're KO? But I imagine Matt was just trying to clear his arsenal. One of those situations where if someone sent a Send Packing at you, you might just be like, do you know what? I actually don't need this arsenal. You're more than welcome to banish it. Cheers, man. Save me the hassle. So we've got a Pulping coming in for at least 7. Discarding another Bare Fangs. So this is going to be a 7 Dominate. Again, if Matt is in a position where he has a defense reaction, which we have seen him play quite a fair few of, so I'm not sure if he has any left. He can stuff this Pulping and just end the turn. And there it is. Bob's your uncle. 7. That means Pulping has no go again. And the turn is over. hoping really a card in these matchups against Teklovossen that it's very useful to have late game, because if you pitch those to the bottom, you can really do some serious damage. And now we have a war machine with all modes active. Most importantly, blow up your arsenal. So it's a 9 overpower. It's pretty good. And Seb with 2, 3, 4, 5 blocking armor. So something like a reckless swing plus the armor would help cover it. Otherwise, it looks like you're losing your arsenal here, mate. But we are going to block 3. Oh, and we're just giving up the Savage Sash. That's a tough one. I bet if you are Matt, you feel great about it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of armor plus the massacre. So we're generating a second might from the Apex Bonebreaker. We're losing our Savage Sash. We're losing our Scalding Flesh Bag, and our boots have no more block on them. So let's see what this all-important card was in the arsenal. And we're going to play this Yellow Wild Ride, pitching an Agile Windup, going for a draw discard, see if this has go again, because we've already whiffed one today. It's the Beast Within, even better. Drawing a Beast Within, sure, why not? So this is coming in for 7 go again. And recreating 1 might token. So we're going to block 3, and we're going to sink below. Then we're going to claw, probably, no, pitching the Bear Fangs. Surprised not pitching that Beast Within. And then we're going to swing big to follow it up. So Matt at 17 now, facing down 8 power in Swing Big. Let's see what he decides to do. Having taken the claw, he took that claw very quickly. We seem like, it feels like, from what I've seen, Seb is running very blue tight in this game. Like a lot of reds and yellows, not a lot of blues. Which really has been hampering his ability as Kayo to go wide on more than 2 or 3 chain links. And we're going to block 2 with this hold the line, taking 6. So just going to tidy up here from Seb. Not too bad. We only have 1 might token. But otherwise, we're doing okay. And yeah, we're just going to send the Terminator tank. This is, yeah, on hit, discard a card. Pretty good. Unless your KO opponent has a Beast Within in hand, because then you'll just be like, yeah, for sure, King. I guess I'll take 9. Oops. I'll discard this Beast Within. But that's just me. Not everyone is that lucky. So let's see what we have in store. Nine coming in. Seb really thinking about this one. Looks like he's just going to tick his dice down there and just go to 21, discard a card. Send me the bill. I'll pay it later. And is discarding a run roughshod by the looks of things. And just going to send a good old Bare Fangs. Discarding a cast bounce. I'm telling you. Bad card. Bad card. I'm in the school of Michael Hamilton on this one. I don't agree with everything Michael posts, but man, there's no way you could pay me to play cast bones in my deck anymore. And yeah, we're going to put a hold the line to the bottom there, blocking out the full Bare Fangs. Seb just going to Arsenal card. Not Arsenal a card. That's a Wrecker Romp. Tenor says that's a Wrecker Romp. Thinking about that, man, maybe I would have discarded one of the misses, unless that one of those was ripped off the top. We're just going to go gun for 3. And see what Seb has to say about it. Matt still with a card in hand, which is 100% going straight into the arsenal. Yeah, Seb just going like, yeah, I'm at 18. No one cares about vanilla damage. We're going to discard an agile windup. Are we doing it on just... Yes, we're doing it on our own turn to make a might and agility. And then we can attack with claw for 3, go again. There's a lot to be said for hiding information, but everyone knows the play. Everyone knows that when you attack claw with no go again, you're doing it blah 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 blah. Yeah, and then we're going to predatory assault. So we're going to see this 2 for 6 dominate. Now let's see what Matthew decides to do here. With the 6 dominate facing him down. And we're just going to block with a Warmongers and go to 8. 18 plays 8. Kayo kind of in a good spot, but like you've burned through all your power cards here, and Matt is still digging towards a singularity as he continues to get through his game. So we're going to go gun. And we're going to block, and we're going to generate another might token. So it's a full block here on the gun, go up to 2 might tokens. I don't think we'll be getting a huge amount of use out of this agility token on our turn, but we'll see. Matt is just going to re-equip on the gloves, effectively gaining himself another 5 points of life. Yeah, and we're going to attack with this pulping. It's a yellow pulping, so it's going to be for 7. It's going to have go again either way, but will it have dominate? Let's see what Seb discards. We're discarding an agile windup, so yes, it will in fact be for 7 dominate with go again. And we have 1 card left in it, which looks like is going straight into the arsenal. Now, I'm personally a big fan of putting on the pressure here. So we're blocking 6, taking 1 down to 7. Let's strip another card. But we're not. We're going to set up in arsenal. So I wonder what that last card could be. Matt just going to gain 3 life, go to 10. And let's see what else he does. Yeah, gun. Ignore. We don't block the gun. The gun is stupid. I would rather go in with a 5 card hand personally. And if Matt is going to attack again with whatever is in his arsenal, I'd rather have all my cards to block something like that. Yeah, no, he has a Command and Conquer. So now we can give up 2 cards here, send in a reasonable threat, and continue. But the life totals are getting a lot closer than I would feel comfortable with in Seb's position. And we've just got a 6 block there with a Beast Within and what looks like a Savage Feast. Could be anything. And now, what do we send back? We're just going to discard the Wind Up to KO to make a Might and Agility, and then we're going to send the Claw. This is fine. Claw for 4. Get the block. Draw. We have a card in Arsenal. We're going into our turn with a Might and Agility. The only thing we have to worry about right now is that is definitely a Singularity in Arsenal. I am prescient. I know what I'm talking about. I am not terrible at this game. So now we've got 2 triggers on all our Evos. So our Steel Soul Memory will increase our intellect by 2. We'll put 2 cards back into our deck. 5th from the top. Something to that effect. We're going to gain 6 resources, and we're going to gain a bunch of action points. Yeah, so we're putting 2 Terminator tanks back in the deck. 5th from the top. And gaining 6 resources. And 2 action points. So we have 2 swings from Teklovossen guaranteed right now. Unless Matt has any desire to do something else with that card in his hand. So now that Seb has taken a turn to set some stuff up, it's not going to matter because he's going to have to rip 2 cards from his hand and face 12 points of damage. So whenever this attacks, you have to discard a card. A friend of mine played Teklovossen versus me in an RTN when I was on Kayo, and the attacks both, every time he attacked with Teklo, I managed to have a very nice Beast Within to discard. It was great. So we're going to discard Bare Fangs here. And I imagine we just take 6 here. We kind of have to. Like, this game is pretty much over in Teklovossen's favour. Man, Seb, you should have discarded that. Would have been... I'm telling you, man. It's a rush. You negate the card disadvantage. It's great. Now let's see what Seb has to do here. It just looks like a single attack and pass, which is not great. And here comes a 9 overpower with Go again, thanks to Teklovossen. That's fine. This is fine. Knowing that he has definitely got at least 1 Terminator tank as well. I think this might be the closer. So we're going to block and Reckless Swing. Discard our middle card. So we're going to deal 2 damage to Teklovossen. From Hell's Heart, I stab at thee. This full Captain Ahab, Khan, whichever you prefer, whatever your preference is. And here we have another 9 go again. This is fine. This is cool. This is good. What's the worst that could happen? I think this is lethal, man. And he has the Reckless. Oh, that's not ideal. Drawing all your Reckless Swings. So 4, block, take 5, go to dead, move to dead step. Matt, stop. You still have all these. I get it. Jesus. Absolutely just turning that game on its head, and KO left with 2 cards in deck as well. Winning on all metrics there was Matagon, and congratulations. Matthew Kenworthy moving into the 1-0 bracket of the League That Means Nothing 3, and Seb moving into the Pablo Pintor Memorial Submarine bracket at one loss. So 0-1. Hey, still get there. We've got 5 more rounds of Swiss to go. Great game played by both players. KO trying to do KO things, getting stuffed pretty hard on a couple of turns by his own variants and by Matagon's excellent defensive play. Kind of have to be that way if you're going to play Teklovossen. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to block. And well done, Matthew Kenworthy, on getting the first win for Teklovossen in this league. That means nothing 3. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. So, for anyone who is looking to find me, you will find me on Blue Sky at findlespirit.bsky.social, and occasionally posting about the League That Means Nothing on Twitter at finals_spirit. If you enjoyed the video, if you're glad we're back for season 3, if you're sick of listening to me, or if you're enjoying listening to me, please make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you tell us how great this league is. Do all the sharing on all the social media. Make sure you subscribe so that you can continue to see the League That Means Nothing 3 in your YouTube subscriptions. And I will see you in the next one.